We are here this afternoon and happy to announce the payment of a bonus to 191 employees of Fiji Ports Corporation Limited, including Fiji Ships and Heavy Industries Limited, total value of which is $223,930.26. They'll be paid to 191 employees. It is very, very important, I think, to put all of this into perspective. Many of the state-owned enterprises only a few years ago weren't making any money. In fact, you had organizations even like AFL, which had a monopoly, which still has a monopoly, even Fiji Ports Corporation, which has a monopoly, Fiji Hardwood Corporation, which had the largest standing mahogany plantation, some argue in the world, never made a profit until 2008, which is actually quite remarkable in a very negative sense, because here you have state-owned enterprises that had monopolies, still have monopolies, but they weren't making any money. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, is that for any country to do economically well, you have to ensure that state-owned enterprises are actually making money, because they're the ones who have the monopolies. They're the ones who provide the basic and the fundamental infrastructure that is critical for any economy to move and churn. And if you have the right level of investment made in those state-owned enterprises, which can only come about in a sustainable manner if that company actually makes money. Let me just digress slightly. Just a couple of years ago, FEA made a profit of about $69 million. Now, that is a very good sum. As a result of that, we were able to reduce electricity tariff rates by 5% from last year, or from this year, sorry. The reason why we are able to do that is because FEA is now on a very good commercial and sound footing. But that money is also critical to ensure that FEA maintains its infrastructure. Nobody knows when was the last time maintenance was done on Monosavu. You need to maintain the infrastructure with the electrical power poles. Some of the power poles you'll see, for example, the concrete is already decaying. So in order to maintain that infrastructure, that business, which must be run like a business, must be able to make money so you can reinvest. The other area of reinvestment, which is very, very critical, is the actual people who work in those organizations. We must be able to invest in the human resources. Technology changes, ways of running a company changes, the methodologies in terms of the mechanical services, the engineering, all of that changes with changing technology with times. So you must keep your staff up to speed with what is happening around them. And the best way to do that is to ensure that we continue with the training. So this is why it is critical that the best people are also appointed for the job. As we've seen previously, state-owned enterprises were run on the basis dependent on who you knew, and you would get positions in the state-owned enterprises. We must appoint the best people. In the same way, we must appoint the best people in government also. I gave an example to some people who were complaining to me about various issues, and I said, at the end of the day, when your water is not coming through the taps, when the electricity grid falls down, when there are potholes on the road, as a consumer, as an everyday consumer, you really don't care who is there as the chairperson of the board. You don't really care who's the CEO or who's the engineer. You just want the best person because you don't want the water to stop flowing through your taps. You want the electricity to be up and running. You don't want the potholes. So in order to ensure that all those things are happening all the time, the best people must be appointed to those jobs. Best people must be appointed to those positions. So it's a threefold impact. You have an organization that's going to function well. You'll ensure that whatever service delivery is supposed to deliver gets actually delivered. And secondly, the organization will do well and everybody else will benefit from it. And fourthly, actually, the economy will do well. So this is why we have a deliberate policy now to ensure that the staff of the organizations, in particular state-owned enterprises, which we have a control over, must be paid bonuses if the organization is doing well. We must be able to recognize people for their individual performances. Because it is unfair, completely unfair, if you have a room full of people And if only 10 people are doing their job and the rest of them aren't doing their job, and when you give a pay rise, you give it to everybody. So the people who aren't doing their job, they say, I really don't need to do my job because I'll get a pay rise in any case. So we must create the team environment. And that team environment is created when everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do, what are the key performance indicators, and how they're going to perform, and we assess them on that. Everybody will do well. Who would have thought? Who would have thought 5 years ago that in Fiji Airways, formerly known as Air Pacific, that the staff would be sharing in their profits? They made a loss of $96 million, then subsequently made a loss of about $70 million. Today they're in the black, they're making money. They're not in the red, they're in the black, they're making lots of money. And the staff are now for the first time sharing in the profits. That model can be applied to other organizations, state-owned enterprises. And it can happen, and it should happen. But you must be able to reach a particular level of competency, a particular level of efficiency, and a particular level of productivity. Then everybody will benefit. There have been some exciting times now, of course, as the chairman highlighted, in respect of the partnership with Atkins Pence. There's numerous opportunities that we're looking at going further, not just with them per se, but obviously in other state-owned enterprises. So I'd like to say that we are really on the cusp of achieving a particular economic output that has been unsurpassed. Never before the type of growth rates that we are getting at the moment in Fiji, and I think it's important for you to understand, because ports actually play a very critical role, that the level of economic growth we've achieved on a sustainable basis is unprecedented. It has not happened before. You're looking at growth rates of about 3.6, 3.8%. We are already talking to international partners who are now forecasting that we have much, much better days ahead, given if the reforms that the Bainimarama government has implemented will continue. If they continue, there's always been talk about how Fiji can become like a Singapore. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it can become like a Singapore. And the reason why I'm talking to you about Singapore is because Singapore was able to capitalize on its geographical location. And they achieved a level of efficiency and productivity, and today everybody looks up to Singapore. Singapore is the size of Taveuni. It's no bigger than Taveuni. Dubai is smaller than Singapore, but everybody wants to go there because the level of efficiency, the productivity that they have achieved has been actually quite phenomenal. And Fiji can become the Singapore of the South Pacific. In fact, we can do better. Singapore, in fact, doesn't have its own drinking water. They import it from Malaysia. When the military wants to do jungle training, they have to go and hire jungle from Indonesia. They can't even grow their own vegetables. We can do all of that. So we have unbelievable potential. And the only way we can do that is if we all come together, not just as state-owned enterprises, but also as a country. So I'd like to thank the chairman and his team and the CEO for achieving the outputs that they have done, which is again unprecedented. And I'm sure that we can all do a lot better. And with a particular vision and a particular focus for long-term achievement, Fiji Ports Corporation, I'm sure, will see much, much better days ahead. And we look forward to the staff of Fiji Ports Corporation having a much bigger share and chunk of the profits that it makes. So I'd like to thank all of you, the staff who are here and those of you who aren't here. Congratulations on the achievement that you have achieved, that you've reached, and I'm sure that we'll be able to do a lot better. And I want to thank you all for your contribution to FPCL. Thank you.